Okay, so I'm gonna do a tutorial on one of the versions of how to play this song. There's kind of like two up at the moment, and they kind of clash with each other, I suppose. So there's some tabs up on Ultimate Guitar, and I think there's one, and it says something about pitting, like, I think it plays up here. Something like that. It's kind of like to do with, I suppose that's the key. And I mean, that does go with the song, but it doesn't, like, you can hear in the background and stuff, there's some stuff going on with bass notes. So this is the version then that I'm going to teach you how to play, hopefully, anyway. So here we go. So yeah, that's kind of like the basics of it, I suppose. So to start off with is the chords that I use. So the first one is kind of like an F major chord thing, that's what they call it anyway. So your index finger goes on the B string at the first, middle finger goes on the G string at the second, and then you got your ring finger and pinky finger on the E and D strings at the third. I've got my guitar tuned down half a step, so if your guitar doesn't sound like mine, then it's no big deal. You can play in whichever key you want, but I just did it so you could hear the bass notes a bit more. So that's the first chord. Then the next chord is kind of like a, it's got the G bass notes, so it's kind of like a G/C sort of thing. Again, you've got your index finger on the B string at the first, then you've got your middle finger on the A string at the second fret, and you've got your ring finger on the third fret on the E string. The next chord is A minor, which I think everybody knows how to play A minor. If not, look it up. So basically, the song's really all about, if you want to get it kind of authentic, it's about all the hammer-ons that are on. It's all about stuff like that. So the first chord, the only hammer-on you need to do is with your middle finger and the G string. So all you do is pretty much just down, so it's pretty much just that, to be honest with you. It's not very complicated. The next one's slightly more complicated, and obviously it'll sound better when it's all together. It sounds a bit odd, I suppose, when I'm just playing one part over and over again. But when you get the next chord, you strum it first, and then with your on the A string, basically, that's where all the stuff happens. So strum it first, and then you have to hammer on the second, so you have to play the string kind of open, but then hammer on, and then that's the first hammer on, and then the second one comes with your pinky finger, and you've got to hammer on the A string again from the second to the third, and that's the next one. So together it'll sound. And again, once you've got to that, once you got to the third hammer on, like on the third fret, then you just play it open. So you just take your finger off, so it'll go. So it'll go something like. It'll go like that, and then the next one's the A minor. All you need to do with this one is with your ring finger, which is on the G string, just hammer on. So go from open string to hammer on to. So that's all that one requires. So for the first pattern, I suppose actually there's another bit which goes from the A minor, and then I'll play it basically. It's that bit. So from the A minor, you go to C, and then you move from the third fret on the C chord on the A string. You move it down to the second. So all you're playing is that, and you go back to the G chord, the kind of that other chord that we just went through. But then you've got to hammer on to, so it'll go. So it'll go A minor, C, down, G, hammer on. So that's that one slowed down. Then for the next pattern, when he plays it again, it's just slightly different with the bass notes. When we're just going through the hammer on 2, hammer on 3, and then it just goes a slide up to the 5th, and then you obviously when you slide up to 5, you need to get back down to A minor, so it'll sound kind of like that, because you pull off and it pulls off, and then you kind of play, I suppose it's like another note, which is just the open A string. So it's kind of hard to play, but I'll play it as slow as I can. It sounds rubbish actually. It's hard to try and hear it, but it goes like that, I suppose. It's kind of, like I said, it's hard to try and get it working on the microphone, but hopefully you get the gist of it. So all together it will sound like this. So yeah, that's kind of it, I suppose. If you've got any questions or anything, I know it's hard to try and like, I suppose, grasp, but it's just a matter of playing around with the bass notes and stuff. You shouldn't really struggle with it. It's not too difficult. It's just, I suppose, in the words of the film Forgetting Sarah Marshall, it's not what you do, it's what you don't do, I suppose. Or something like that. I think that's what he says. Don't do anything, that was it. So, don't do anything, just kind of do it. So, yeah, I'll just play it again slowly if I can. So yeah, that's the song really summed up. So like I say, if you've got any questions, just send me a message or something, or leave a comment. I'll try and help you out. Okay, thanks.